Hey everyone, it's Megan, Stitching Moon, here for Flosstube number 35. And it's been a little while, about a little over 3 weeks, which is a little long for me. I usually like to do every couple weeks, but things have been busy. So yeah, well, here I am, and I have a little more to show you because of that. I just want to welcome you if you're new. And if you're returning, thank you for watching as always. And I also want to thank you first for, I know last video I mentioned I was having a little bit of the winter blues, and so many of you were so kind, just like empathizing, and yeah, just thank you all. And I also wanted to thank someone for buying me a Ko-fi, actually 2 Ko-fis, so I don't know if I can say your name, but I just want to thank you. You know who you are. And again, just thank you all so much for your support. So I have some WIPs to show you today. I have some haul, and so I've spent all of my gift money now. I'm done for the year until the next round of gift money, but I still haven't got everything in. So I'll still be showing you things for the next several videos. But I have that. I have, yeah, I'll go just a tiny bit into plans, life updates, and I also have a few more videos that I can show or add to the end of this about just some more things around my town. I show where my daughter goes to daycare and everything. So because you all seem to like those videos so much, I'll add a few more on and do that when I can, when I have something new to show. So let's get into it. First one I have is one of my current focus pieces that I want to hopefully finish this year. Queen of Silk, Glare, by Designworks. It's a kit. And it's my oldest WIP, but it's still not very old because I'm relatively new coming into cross stitch again. So it's from 2021 and not quite 2 years old. I think in the summer it'll be 2 years old, but I'm hoping for a finish, even though this is a really big piece. So I've worked on it 6 days since you've last seen it, and I'm pleased with my progress. And here she is. So I've been working on her dress, which is fun. So many different colors. Let me see. I'll try and go in closer, but now I can't see what I'm showing you, so I hope that's okay. But yeah, I've done this. Up here is her back and some of her dragon tattoo, and then yeah, just working my way down on the dress. And I did a few more of these little plants over here. And there will be some extra sparkle added into here. It's just that the kit ran out and I'm waiting on some more from the company. And over here, there's going to be a lot of back stitching in the dress. So this is actually bird's wings coming in, because there's like a whole scene. There's some different like scenes in her dress, which is really cool. Actually, it's a kimono, but yeah. So how I'm working is just downward columns. So I have kind of the 10 by 10 columns, but I'm working my way downwards and then just finishing up the thread wherever it goes. And I was working in like this row, but obviously her dress goes over more, so now I'm kind of filling in several columns at once until I get to the bottom, and then I'll work my way up from the top again and go down. So, and I like that. It gives like a nice variety of where I'm stitching. It's on a 14 count Aida. It's a very soft Aida for a kit, so that's nice. And one thing, I don't know if anybody knows, but I was a little confused how so it's called Queen of Silk, but it looks like, and I picture like the Silk Road, more China, but it's a very Japanese pattern. Like it has the cherry blossoms and it's a kimono. So, I don't know too much about the history of it, but I don't know why it's called Queen of Silk if it's Japan. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they didn't have silk. I don't know. You can tell me if you know. So yeah, very happy about how that's coming along. Still a lot of stitching to go though. Okay, next is my full coverage focus for now until well, I'll talk about that a little in plans, but it is Fran, the large version from Artecy, by artwork by David Maclean. And oh yeah, I think I have some stats here. So yeah, so far I'm at 13,022 stitches and it is 6.02%. So I'm filling in a bit more. Look at all that confetti in the buildings. So it seems like it's taking longer to see progress, but I know it's not. It's just that, like, you know, all these little confettis are, you know, you can't tell that you're making progress even though you are. So this is on 25 count easy guide, as you can see, and it's 2 over 1 half cross. So we have lots of buildings I'll be doing, and then I'll actually be getting into the roof of one of the first houses, I'm pretty sure. So it's going to be a lot of black though, or, you know, dark colors right here, but I will have that part in the Q-snap. So yeah. Now this might be the last time you see this for a while, because again, in plans, I'll talk about what I'll start next, and I think that's going to take over as my new full coverage focus. But I'll still have it in my rotation, it just may not come up often or at all. So, we'll see. Okay, next one was my random pick, and that was Scorpio by Nora Corbett. Okay, so this one was nice because I have a face now. Yay! So this is on, I think I got a big piece for this, but anyway, it's on 32 count opalescent, Full Bloom, I think it's called, from XG Design. Beautiful fabric. And yeah, I was just working up, I finished her arm and hand, I think. Well, not finished, but I was working there. And then obviously her face and some of her hair. Was that her? Yeah, a little bit of her hair. And she's also got like a little tiara thing. So worked on that. Haven't done it. I think I'll just do all the backstitch at the end. But yeah, I love how she looks with a face now. I think that's all about that one. Going through the WIPs fast. Okay. Then we have my other focus, I guess. I have a lot of focuses, but this is Advent animals. So I'm doing a finish of an animal each rotation. So because it's been so long, I actually got 2 finishes. And these are the free patterns from Brooke's books that you can download. And here I am. I have 9 done. So I'll show you up close. I did the pig, Pearly Pig. Oh, okay. I can't see where the camera is. Okay, so I hope the lighting is okay. But I did 8 Pearly Pig. And I think, so there's like French knots for her snout, which are a little uneven, but I'm okay with that. And then we have the one I finished last night, actually, which is Kenny Kangaroo. And he's Australian, so he's at the beach. And at first I didn't know what this was until it said in the, I thought it was like a bottle of like, I don't know, alcohol or something, but it's a tanning lotion actually. So I kind of messed up, I don't know, I did something weird with the bottle cap because it's like quarter, 3/4 stitches, but I don't know, mine just looks funky. It doesn't look like it does in the picture, but that's all right. And instead of standing on snow like all the others, it's like sand on the beach. And instead of snowflakes, it's like, they called it sun sparkles. And I love that little drink. How cute is that with a lime and umbrella? And those sunglasses, so cute. And I'm doing these with Stephanie, the On Point Stitcher, and we're at the same pace, same amount done, and hers looks awesome. It's on like a darker Ada that I think she dyed herself, and I love how they pop on that. It's beautiful. Mine is just on the called for fabric, which is 28 count Babbling Brook, a Jobelin. So yeah, I'm excited that they're on track so far. Yeah, yay. Now after I do, like say I finish one in a day and then I have like some extra time that I could stitch, then I have another project that I showed last time, which is one that I made myself, and it's the Boston subway system, or the Boston T, because I lived there for a year doing an internship and I just have so many memories of being on this thing all the time. So I just added the places where I would stop or that have like memories for me. So that is what it'll look like. I only worked on this one, like a half a day since the last time you saw it. Oh, let me see. And it's, oh, it still has a thread hanging on that side, but I just have the red line so far. Not much to look at, but you can see the whites for the little stop. So I'll stitch those in white after, but this is on a 22 count. Is it Hardanger, maybe? 1/1. So just kind of slowly working on that when I have some of the extra time. And it could be a travel project. Then just one more that I did in my random one. And this is the Tarot Sal from last year, Tarot Stitch Along. And that's what it will look like eventually. I'm only on the border. And there's also another, this is from Witch's Garden Crafts, and there's another stitch along this year that I haven't started it yet, but I have all the things ready. And that's the Dark Goddess Sal, so I'm super excited about that one too. And it's funny that like this one and Scorpio came up as my random ones when I was really in like a kind of witchy mood, and I'll show you from some of my haul. But it all like kind of fit together. It was like the universe was like, yes, this is your mood, so this is what you're gonna stitch on. And here it is. Again, I love this fabric. It was from Witch's Garden Crafts shop on Etsy specifically for this design, and it's daguerreotype, and it's a 14 count Ada. Hand dyed opalescent. And yeah, I'm just working on the border. There's two borders you can choose from, and I chose this more, it's called the Ornate frame. I'll see if I can go a little closer. There's two colors. I don't know how well you can see, like there, yeah, you can see a little, like the yellowish color in there. So I almost got to the end. Like if you keep, like if down here in the pattern is where it like indents in and then goes down one more card. Like, oh, I'll put the thing away. Like here. So I'm at this point down at the border, and then I just have those to finish, and then these words. But I was pleased on my progress. In 3 days, I got like, I think it went from like 4 or 6% to 25.07% of the border, not of the whole project. Because right now I just have the border into Pattern Keeper. So it's at 1,988 stitches total, which is the 25.0% of just the border part. So that's not bad. I'm a quarter way down the border, which, I don't know, it sounds good, but then again, that's still 75% more to go. But glad to make a little progress. And I didn't tell you on the Boston Tee, I'm at 10.48% on that, of just the cross stitches, not the back stitch. So that was what I worked on in the last 3 weeks. So now I'll show you some of my gift money purchases from Christmas and birthday. So one of them is a tool that I just got actually yesterday, and it's a neck light that you can just like use this as your stitching light. Because sometimes, like if I want to stitch down here, if something's going on, my lighting is terrible here. So I thought this would be handy, or like if we're watching something, usually I have like a little, like a stand lamp, and it's like a smaller one that's directed at me, but it still kind of is annoying when you're watching TV for my husband and stuff. So I was like, well, I'll try this out. And I did try it last night on Advent Animals, and I was working on like backstitch and kind of details, so it wasn't awesome, but it worked. But I think it'll be better if I'm just doing X's. But it has 2 settings, like I think this is 50%, and then you turn it off again, and then this one is like 100%. You can move it like in different directions, like my pattern's over here and then my stitching is here, or you can just like change the angles and stuff. So yeah, nifty. And also I think traveling, this will be nice because we already have some vacations planned where we're going to be in hotels. So, you know, my daughter will sleep early, so this will be nice just to like not have it super bright. All right. Then I'll show you some patterns that I got on Etsy, and this is going to show like kind of the mood I've been in. But the first, I got a couple from the Little Stitcher Shop, which I also have another like stitch along I'm doing from her, and I really like her patterns. And these have been on my wish list for like a long time, so I finally just got them. But this one is the Salem Trials that I know a few people I've seen stitching. And then, so I used to also, like, I lived nearby here, and I've been to Salem a few times. Once for Halloween, which was kind of nuts. But, yeah, so in memory of, you know, the witch hunt and the horrible hangings, burnings, ugh. But I like that pattern. And then also from her shop is the moon phases, and there's 2 patterns where you can do one, like this one represents like the full moon, like going from new to full, and this one is the new, going from like the fuller to the new dark moon. So they're kind of companion pieces. So I really love those. And then I got from Stitchy Princess, a Ukrainian designer, again on Etsy. This one is the World of Bees. Love that, like the colors, and just bees are so cute. So that's a little more summery type pattern. And then once I bought this, she sent like a coupon for 25% off, and I was like, oh, I'll get something else on my wish list. And this one is Baba Yaga, the Slavic witch, which I've also been wanting one of these patterns for a while because I mentioned before in my videos, I've read the book The Women Who Run with the Wolves, and there's a story in there that involves Baba Yaga, so I just thought that was cool. All right, so I don't know when I'll be stitching these, but someday. So then I got some, well, I've had this pattern I've been wanting for a while as well, and it's another Nora Corbett. Again, Moonglow. It's like very different from her usual patterns, and I really love it. There's another kind of companionish piece that I did get, but it just hasn't come yet, so I'll show you that when I get it. But yeah, I just think that's beautiful. Again, don't know when I'll stitch it. And it has a bead pack and everything like that I don't have. And then along with that, I got, so I have all the patterns for the Year in the Woods like series from Cottage Garden samplings. And I was going back and forth, like if I wanted to get there's like a woodland bundle of fabric from Be Stitch Me. But I actually decided to go with like the individual called for linens that I can get over time, so I don't have to get everything at once. But so I got one of them just to like see what it was like. And it's one of the springtime ones, I think. It's called Velt by Picture This Plus, and it's beautiful. And it's a 32 count, which means you'd have to get extra of the fancy floss to stitch the Year in the Woods with the called for stuff. Now I'm going to change this actually, because so the winter fabric it's called for is called Mirage, and it's always like out of stock. There are some other counts that are in stock, but like the lower counts are like always out of stock. So I had put them on my, like, from 123 Stitch, you can have them email you when something's back in stock. So after I got this, like recently I got an email saying that the Mirage 36 count came back in stock, limited supply. So I was like, ooh, I want that. And plus, if I do 36 count, I don't have to get as many of the fancy flosses. But I already got this in 32 count, and I want the whole series to match, like the same size. So I ended up getting the 36 count, 3 pieces, so that I could do like all 3 of those, make sure they're not going to run out again. So I'm going to end up doing 36 count in all of them, and this one I'll just use for another purpose, because I have plenty of things that I could do them on. I think actually one of the ones I just showed you would look really good on this. I think it would fit. So I might do maybe one of like the witchy ones on this. That might look cool. Yeah. So I'll figure it out, but I'll use this for something else. I really like that. I really do like Picture This Plus fabrics a lot. And I also had got with this, like my Moonlight Sampler pattern that I've showed before, I didn't have all of the fancy flosses for that yet, so I just got, because they had been out of stock, but I also went ahead and got those with this order. Next, I'll show you some other fabrics that I got. So this one is actually going to be a restart. So I bought fabric to do a restart. I've shown this project before, and it's also the Little Stitcher Shop. It's her 13 Moon Sal stitch along, which went on last year. And so this is the fabric I originally had used. It's actually the same, I think, as my Advent Animals, because I had so much left. And it was going to be on this fabric. And this is what it looks like. So the wolf pops really well. However, I'm not happy with how it's 38.65 for the moons and the border, because yeah, I wanted them to pop more. This is all about the moons, not so much the things in it, and there's tons and tons of this color in this pattern. So I was trying to like get used to it, but I really wanted something darker. So I did find something darker that, again, on 123 Stitch. And it's this beautiful color. And I think I am going to love how the moons and the border comes out on this. And it's actually a 16 count. Okay, here it is. 16 count Aida in Mystic. And it's not, this is like no Aida I've ever stitched on. It's so soft. So it's almost like, to me, it looks like it could be a linen or even weave or something. So I'm really happy about this, and I'll show you the colors, how they pop. So these are the darker colors. So they are going to be a little darker, but most of the things are going to be in front of the moon. So I still think it's going to work well. And look how that looks on it. Oh, that's what I was wanting for the moons. So it'll be a restart, which I'm not happy about, like restitching things, but I'm not too far and I have a long way to go. So I'm going to be a lot happier on that one. And I'll just have to cut this. I'm not going to rip it out. I'm just going to, I still have quite a bit of fabric here. So again, I can use that for something else. I'll just cut that off. And actually this is not, no, this is not the same one that I used for Advent Animals. This is called Dusky Sky. And it's a 28 count even weave. Because it's not hand-dyed, it's printed. So this I think I had got originally for a Moonlight Sampler that I just decided I wasn't going to use. So I already cut it, but yeah, I'm just going to cut it and use it for something else because I have so many patterns that I need fabric for. So that is that. Yeah, really happy about that new fabric. But I don't know when I'll restart it. It'll have to be kind of like when it comes up, if it comes up on my random project day. Okay, one other piece of fabric to kit up the companion to that tarot sal, and it's the Dark Goddess sal. And it's also one that was made for this project. And this one is actually from the Stitchy Ferret in the UK. Look at that. It's a lot smaller than I was expecting, but I know the tarot sal, like I have a lot of extra room on that, so I don't know if they're going to be the same size. I'll have to check the stitch count, but this is also 14 count Aida because I wanted them to be the same. And it's also opalescent, and look at that. It didn't actually come with the name of the fabric, but I think it's like Midnight Sky or something like that. But I love that. It's gonna look so good. And then these are like the colors that will go on it. So I think that'll be really pretty. Again, don't know when it started. Yeah, I have also on my random like things I pick from a new start. So if that comes up is when I'll start something new. I don't know if it'll be this one or one more, another one that I have in mind, but see, I don't need to be buying anything else this year. Okay, finally, last thing was actually a gift because February was Mother's Day in Norway. And I don't even think I mentioned that I'm American living in Norway, just in case you're new and stopping by. So we celebrate the Norwegian Mother's Day. So I had a wish list, and normally, so my husband hasn't really bought me any cross stitch because he's like, but you have so much. I'm like, that's not the point. Like, so I showed him my wish list on 123 Stitch, and he picked out one for me, which is this RTO kit. Fairy Tales Live on the Roofs. And this one's been on my wish list for a while because I just love the artwork. And that's obviously going to be a lot of back stitching. But not all of the sky is stitched at all. It's just like a few clouds and stars are stitched, but the rest is the fabric. Which is like that. So all the floss already sorted, and it's DMC. So again, don't know when I'll start it, but happy to have that one. And that's all my haul. Whew, for now. So other things are gonna come in like quite a bit of other things, and that's why I am not spending any more this year until, well, my birthday's in November, so we'll see at that point. But I do want to, like, the next time I buy things, I want it to be like kitting up what I already have, like getting the fabric, getting the flosses, because I really need to work on what I have. Okay, next thing is plans. So I am gonna have a new start today or tomorrow for Suki's birthday, Suki the Brown-Eyed Stitcher, and so many of us are going to be doing this. You've probably heard it already and seen it because I forgot to bring down the pattern, but it is the Home in the Mountains pattern by Golden Kite cross stitch, and oh, it's gorgeous. It's the Lord of the Rings scene of Rivendell, and I'm so excited for it. I'm doing, just like Suki is doing, the standard size version of the, which is the biggest, with blended threads. It has 70 blends. What am I getting myself into? And it's the biggest project I have. Sorry, I just kicked the camera. The biggest project I have so far. It is huge. Well, it's not a super size, but it's bigger than anything I've done. So I have most of it kitted. I'm still waiting on a few flosses, and for this one, what I did was, I was so tired of like having like rebuying floss for all of my projects, because a lot of them are duplicates, and it's obviously going to take me forever to stitch these big projects. Meanwhile, I'm just like, keep buying more DMC, because I don't have a master set. So I don't work from a master set. I just like literally kit up each one individually. And I know eventually I'll have a master set from doing all these things and having all the leftover floss. But so for this one, I got the floss, but what I did was it tells you how many stitches or how many like feet or inches of floss that you'll need. I mean, I know it varies based on what like count you do it on. I'm going to do mine on a 25 count, but it roughly tells you that. So I actually measured, like I went through each skein and measured how many I would need, or how many lengths that I would need, and put the rest in my stash. Well, I haven't sorted it yet in my stash, but I have it for my stash. So I'm kind of like adding and making a master set as I go. But it was a little time consuming, but it actually, once you got the hang of it, like it really didn't take all that long. Like once you got into like the rhythm of it. So just a little bit of calculating, but once you know like the formula, it's fine. And it makes me feel so much better knowing I have the amount that I'll need. Like some of them only use like, I don't know, one length of floss. So I would be like keeping that for years and years and years, just sitting there when I don't need to, and I can use it for something else. So that's what I did. I still don't really know how I'm going to like store the blends. I'll have to figure that out like kind of as I go, but all the regular, like all the floss I'll need is already on like floss cards. So next time when I actually have a start, I'll show you what that looks like. So that is also actually going to become my new full coverage focus piece. So if you've seen my videos before, you know I do like a full coverage focus until I finish a Q-snap, like square, and then I move to the next one. And right now I'm doing the San Fran one, but I was like, well, I really want it to become the new one, the Home in the Mountains, because I don't want to start it and then just like put it away. I want to like really see some progress on that. And it was like hard for me to pick and do that. But what I realized, like watching other Flosstubers, you know, a lot of people have said, well, you know, I don't really mind if I never finish my full coverage. I just want to like work on it. It's fun to work on and see progress. And I have, so I was kind of thinking like, well, which ones do I really want to see finished? And which ones can I like just work on? And like, if they get finished one day, they get finished. And if not, like, it was fun to work on. But I do have some that I definitely want to finish. And one of them is Together, the piece that I'm doing like for my husband and I. One of them is my Villa Lorna, my own pattern. And Another one is Children on the Beach, the one that's like the painting by Mary Cassatt. I want to have that done. And I do want to have this Lord of the Rings one done because it's gorgeous and it would look amazing like hanging up in a living room or something like that. Like, so I do want to get that one done eventually, and obviously because they're going to take so much time. So I'm thinking the San Fran one, even though I love it, it's not like something I really want like on my wall. I just really love the picture and doing it. So that one can be one that I like kind of keep in my rotation, but I don't have to like have it as a focus, if that makes sense. There are other full coverages that I want to start, and not all of them will be like priorities to finish. So I can like keep them in my rotation, but not as a focus. So I'm hoping that will work out okay. So far I'll have 4. As of now, I'll have 4 that I want to like keep as focuses and like actually finish one day. So that is that. Now, next, let's see. I have, well, not a ton for life updates. Like, I was busy and I got sick for like a week from my daughter who's in daycare. So that kind of like just put me behind, and we were also just busy with family things and being with my daughter. It's kind of crazy. Like, I live in a tiny town, and we just have in our town like one small grocery store and one tiny grocery store, like a couple clothing stores that are only open in like boutiques that are only open in summer, and like a little odds and ends store, but I don't really go there for much. But we have like a bunch of stuff that we have to get like otherwise in the bigger places that we have to drive like an hour. One's an hour and a half. So we had planned like a few weeks back, like a day that we could all go. But then that day, the weather was so bad that there was avalanche warnings, because here you have to drive on these windy roads along the mountains, which is why it takes so long to get places, because we live on the fjord, and then, you know, the mountains and the roads are just, there's no highways or anything like that. So it's just one road literally to get there, where you have to like go drive along the windy mountains. And then like what happened was it snowed for a while, but then also it rained, like downpoured, and that can make the avalanches come. So there was avalanche warnings. So we didn't want to drive all that way. And obviously we didn't want to be caught in an avalanche or blocked by one, so we couldn't get home. So we postponed that. And then we had another day planned, which was this past Monday, because I was off work for President's Day and my husband wasn't working. So we're like, great, we'll go then. Same thing happened. Literally, it was beautiful weather all weekend. One day that we wanted to go, avalanche warnings. And actually, it actually happened where, well, I don't think it was necessarily an avalanche, but the road that we needed to go to get there was flooded from all the rain, so it was closed anyway, so we literally couldn't have got there. Strange problems that I never thought I would have. But it could definitely be worse. You know, there are other worse natural disasters that are happening around the world now, like in Turkey and Syria, like the earthquake. I can't even imagine. I actually have a friend in my town from Turkey originally, and none of her family got hurt, but where she grew up was actually where the earthquake happened. And she said she lost like friends from growing up, and like some of them lost children. I can't even imagine. Like, yeah, I can't complain. Really. So puts things into perspective. So yeah, just kind of rambling, I guess. But that I think is pretty much my life updates for now. I will put now some videos of just some walking, and then I have like one of us walking down to my daughter's daycare. They call it Barnehagen here in Norway, and that actually translates to child garden, which is so nice. But I guess kindergarten is kind of like that too, because I'm guessing that's, I don't know what language, but garden, kindergarten, and kinder or something with children, I don't know. So yeah, and it's nice because you can go there on weekends and just go on the playground. So that's what we did. So I will leave it at that, show you that, and I hope I'll be back in another couple weeks, but if it takes a little longer, it's all right. I'll be here eventually. All right, so have a great day and happy stitching. We got some snow. And just want to show you because it's really pretty. A beautiful day. That boat you see is the ferry. Now we're just walking through the little tunnel. So that's one of the mountains I hiked to the top. It's called Maclean. It's 1,000 meters above sea level. And then I guess that is sea level. Now we're at the daycare playground on the weekend because you're allowed to use it. And just look at the view of this daycare and playground. Not a bad place to play. Sienna, I can't see your face.